Yeah, I mean, I don't think back then that we thought we'd be where we are now.
A cat.
I don't think we talked about a dairy farm on the first date.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know.
People typically inherit a farm, or they'll work for a farmer for a number of years and then the farmer will retire and leave it to them. We didn't really have that.
You know, when you're doing it on your own, it's a whole different ball game. It's expensive, it's time consuming, and it takes a while.
The first farms we looked at were all pretty small
much
acreages.
smaller.
And we thought that would be enough if we bought all of our feed for our herd, and it's not. We underestimated how much land we needed.
It was like open land, barn that's not falling down, and then like, oh, is there a house? Cool. How can we pay back the bank was an important part. We looked for a while before we found this spot.
The Maine Farmland Trust helped with a conservation easement. Those funds basically tipped us over to where we could afford the property. And without them, we couldn't have purchased the farm.
In order to have any farmland for future generations to farm, it has to be protected.
You know, farmland and whatever you're putting into it and the time and blood, sweat, and tears are not going to be for nothing.
You know, we're just one of many people that's like worked this land. You know, hopefully, whether it's him or somebody else, you know, is going to continue to do the same thing after we're gone, and we'll just be a part of, like, you know, the legacy of this land, you know, like the Bartletts were and the people who had it before that, and, you know, we'll just be maybe, you know, 50 years down the road.